Hi, today I'm going to do my list of top 10 primers, and I've got 3 that I recommend avoiding. So let me just start out. So on some days when I'm using a super matte foundation and I want to give my skin a little bit of glow underneath, I've got a few primers that I recommend using for that. The Becca Backlight Priming Filter does a nice job if you're just looking for a nice glow. You can definitely use it under a less than full coverage foundation to give yourself a little bit more of a shimmer glow look. But if you use a super full coverage or a matte foundation, this is a good one to give your skin a little bit of glow. So, and I like the fact that it has no scent to it. And I also like the packaging that they use. So this is a good one. I know lots of people absolutely love this one. So that's a good one for that. Another one that's I find to be very similar, although a little bit more hydrating, is the Smashbox Photo Finish Radiance Foundation. I use that for the same reason. So if I'm using a full coverage or a super matte foundation, I want to give myself a little bit of a glow, this is a good one. And I also like to use this one because I find it to be a little bit more hydrating. So if my skin's being super dry that day, it's nice. It's got kind of a creamy gel texture to it, whereas the Becca is more of a liquid finish. So this one does a nice job. They both kind of accomplish the same purpose, although the Smashbox gives you a little bit more of an intense glow look. So definitely like that one. And another one kind of in the same vein is the, I couldn't find my full size this. I don't know where it is, but the First Aid Beauty Coconut Smoothie Primer Smoothie. This one does the same thing, although it's got a few more beneficial ingredients in here than the Becca or the Smashbox. And it gives you a little bit less of an intense glow and more focused on some of the skincare and skin hydration of it. So this is a good one. I really wish this one had SPF in it, because then it would just be everything that I needed then. So really like this one as well. And I'm going to get to the people with more oily skin or in the summertime. Actually, this one I've just started using in the last few months. It's the Touch and Soul No Poreblem Primer. And it does a nice job mattifying the skin without being drying or making your skin look cakey. So it does a nice job if you have very oily skin, or if you're using a foundation that doesn't set totally. This one's a good one. If you're maybe a hydrating foundation, this one is a good one. So if you have normal or oily skin, I actually just use it on certain areas like my nose and my forehead, and it does a nice job keeping that mattified throughout the day without drying it out. And I also like that it's fragrance free, and I love the packaging, so they've done a nice job with that. And another good one, if you have, this is probably good for normal or oily or dry skin, the Clinique Super Primer. It does a nice job, but it also has some good beneficial ingredients for your skin, which is nice to see. It works well with almost every type of foundation I've tried it with, and it applies super easy, and it definitely extends wear time of foundation by several hours. And it has a lot of good beneficial ingredients, no real scent. And I just really like it. So if you have oily skin, I can see how you could like this, and even those with drier skin like myself, this one works well. And especially with a lot of the Clinique foundations, this one works great as well. So it does a nice job creating a nice smooth canvas for makeup application while extending the wear time at the same time. So something to keep in mind. And another good one, this one is a good one, the J1. They've got the white version of this, and then the black version, and the red one is the most new one. I almost said most latest one. The most latest one, the more latest one, the most recent is this one. And you know what? It's got a load of beneficial ingredients in it, and it really does a nice job if you have a special event. That's when I tend to use this more often, or in the summer, because a little bit goes a very long way, and you just want to pat it onto your skin from your fingertips, pat it over your skin, and it seems to work well with pretty much any SPF or moisturizer you use underneath it. Once you apply it to your face, though, you're going to want to let it set for, I usually give it about 5 minutes in between this and foundation, just to fully absorb and dry. And it's got loaded with beneficial ingredients and antioxidants for your skin, and it really does a good job kind of gripping the foundation to your skin and helping it last, and definitely extends the wear time of it and leaves a very nice canvas for foundation and kind of gives you a bit of a dewy finish as well, just kind of naturally. So this is a good one. I've been asked about this quite frequently recently. I think it's on sale at Glow Recipe, I think it is. So it might be worth checking out if you've been thinking about picking it up. So there's a lot of new primers coming out. I can't believe I haven't done a top 10 primer list yet. And I just ordered one recently, so hopefully I'm adding that to the list next time. So I'll be reviewing that soon, so stay tuned. It's First Aid Beauty, their new primer that just came out. So another good one, which is kind of similar in kind of the goals of the J1 Jelly Pack, is the Hourglass number 28 Priming Serum. It's got a lot of good beneficial ingredients for your skin, and it does a nice job leaving a nice canvas for makeup application, although it is pretty pricey. It applies nicely, leaves a nice canvas, and it kind of gives you a bit of a dewy finish for your skin. So really like that, and it applies easily, works well under most foundations, and for the most part works well over any moisturizer. So that is a good one. I debated putting the other Hourglass one in, their original Veil primer, and I like that, but I just, the one issue I have with that is that the SPF in there is 15, and I don't want anybody to rely on that for all of their SPF protection, which I do worry about a little bit when somebody sees that it's got sunscreen in there and then they're not going to apply any other sunscreen. And SPF of 15 just doesn't do enough for the average person. So that's why I didn't put that one in there. But it is a good primer as long as you use another SPF with it. So wanted to point that out as well. So, and then I've got a few hydrating primers for my dry skin gal friends. One I love and have repurchased several times is the Marc Jacobs Coconut Primer. It does a nice job hydrating the skin. I'm wearing it currently underneath the Smith & Cult foundation. Let me just do a little swatch. It definitely is hydrating, so you can apply this and use it over the most matte foundation, the most long-wearing liquid foundation, and it'll leave your skin feeling hydrated. If you get dry patches with certain foundations, I recommend trying this underneath that, because this has stopped a lot of dry patch issues I used to get with certain foundations. Using this underneath it has really helped. It's kind of a game changer for a primer. And another one kind of similar is the Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer. It's super hydrating. It's very similar, though, to the Marc Jacobs. So if you already have the Marc Jacobs primer, or if you already have this one, I don't think you really need both because they're very similar in how they work. But this one also does a nice job leaving skin feeling hydrated and works well if you get dry patches. This is a good one to go to. Some days in the driest of Minnesota winter days, where it was -30 out, I applied foundation and was ready to go, and I looked in the mirror. It just looked horrible. Just the dry flakes, the dry patches. It was brutal, and I had to wash it off and start over again. It was that bad. I applied this primer and applied the same foundation I had used earlier, and it made a world of difference. So sometimes when your skin is just super dry or having issues, this is a good one to go with. So made a difference for me. And then my last of the top 10 favorites, and then I'll get to the ones I'm not a huge fan of. Glossier, they have their priming moisturizer. This does a nice job. It's kind of similar to the other two hydrating primers I just mentioned, but this one's a little bit more moisturizing. So if you have super dry skin, this one might be a good one for you. But it does a good job. Kind of a moisturizer primer in one. A little bit goes a long way, so I didn't need that huge amount, but it is very hydrating and will certainly give you a nice dewy finish, especially if you tend to use a more matte foundation. This one will certainly help it look less matte and give you a little bit more of a glow underneath, and at the same time leaving your skin nice and hydrated. My only real thing with this one is it doesn't extend wear time at all because it is super hydrating. So if wear time is an issue, I would probably recommend you go with the Smashbox or Marc Jacobs. But if you usually don't have any issues with oiliness or 14-hour wear or anything like that, this might be a good one for you. So those are my favorite 10. And then this company must just do an amazing job because with their marketing, because I picked I picked these up, and the Blythe brand, and I have so many of the products from them, and I just never end up loving them. These are newer, and I've had a chance to try them out now. They're supposed to give you a glow underneath your foundation, and I just found these to be too much fragrance, and they really didn't give me any glow at all. They helped hydrate it a little bit, but they also didn't work well with a lot of different foundation textures. The Bare Pro foundation, I didn't find them to work amazing in conjunction with that. There's got to be something, because a lot of people, I've seen reviews from this in a lot of places, and I'm not saying all reviews are real, because we know they're not, but people just love this, so there's got to be a lot of people that do like this. I just never found this to be much more than a real conveniently packaged skincare product with a lot of fragrance, so I don't know. And you know what, they're just so fragrant, I just never really liked them, so I don't know. The Hydro Priming Cream, that one was just okay for me. I don't know. Anyway, if you guys have tips about these, or if you've had the same experience with these, let me know. I'm kind of interested now. So, I don't know. They would just never seem to be the best. And I'll admit I may not give them the fair chance, so maybe I'll have to try them out again. But, I don't know. They never really impressed me. I don't know. And then I kind of went on to other things I liked. But I bought all 3 of these, and they were not cheap. So, I don't know. If you have tips on them, let me know. That's all. So, I guess I'm not saying specifically to avoid these, but I'm saying not to be sold totally by the marketing, I guess. So, anyway, there's my top 10. There's my 3 questionable guys over here. So, anyway, I'm interested in what your favorite primer is and what your most disappointing primer is. So, leave a comment. I love hearing from you guys. So if you have a favorite, let me know. Or if you have one that you've tried that was just a total disappointment, what was it? So anyway, leave a comment. I love hearing from you guys. Check out the Amazon link below and nobsbeauty.com. And thank you guys so much.